Noreen and welcome to my kitchen. Today is bread day and I am going to be doing another video where I share with you how I have successfully been able to make a really beautiful, lofty, spongy, delicious, soft sandwich bread using home milled whole wheat. But before I do that, I wanted to make this video, which is a few helpful hints and tricks that I have learned over the last few weeks since I've been home milling my wheat. And I wanted to just give you an idea of what we're going to do that will give you a total success rate when you're ready to make your own home milled whole wheat bread. Alright, I've had a couple of questions on where I get my whole wheat. This is hard white wheat, which is the kind of wheat that you want to use if you want a nice soft loaf of bread. I buy this. It is an Augustin Farms brand, and you can get it directly from Augustin Farms, or you can do like I did. I went on the Walmart website. I ordered it for $14 or so a bucket. This is a 26-pound bucket of wheat. If you spend $50, you get free shipping, and the FedEx man will just bring these buckets right to your door. They come in boxes, so they'll just bring them and put them wherever you want them. Whole wheat has a shelf life of 30 years, and I'll show you. This says lot March 24th, 2015, best by March 24th, 2045. Nice. That's a 30-year shelf life, folks. You keep this in your food storage or wherever. You make sure you keep it in a cool, dry place, and everything's going to be just fine. So, Augustin Farms wheat is what I have. You can use whatever brand you like. It doesn't matter. Some people prefer to source organic wheat. I'm going to go ahead and grind my wheat. I am going to grind enough to make 18 cups, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you a couple other helpful hints. Okay, the Wondermill, if you have one, you'll know this, but for those of you who might be considering, I think I've gone over this before, but there's 3 settings. You have coarse, bread, or pastry, which is the type of flour you're going to have. Coarse would be used for like cornmeal or something like that. Bread is nice, but it's not fine enough for me. So I kind of do halfway in between bread and pastry, and that gives me the texture of flour that I prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and grind mine, and then I'll be back. Got my wheat all ground up, but I do want to mention a couple of things before we move on. These are the tips and tricks part of the deal. You're going to order buckets of wheat because this is the most economical way to do it. It's way more economical than going to your bulk store, which I don't have in my area, and paying, you know, $10 for a bag of wheat because they know they can charge you that. $14 for 26 pounds, much better deal. But if you're going to order this bucket of wheat and you do not have a regular food storage, and this is your first rodeo, you must remember to order one of these. That is a bucket wrench. There is no way in God's green earth that you are going to get this bucket lid off of this bucket without this tool.
Oh, I could. But...
I mean, you could try, but you know, it's really kind of difficult. These bucket wrenches are invaluable. They cost about $4. And if you have one, you have none, so you should have 2, so you'll at least have 1. Because if you have 2, you'll lose 1. If you have 1, you'll lose it, and you won't remember where you put it. And then when it comes time to open a bucket, what are you going to do? These come with like a zip strip. This bucket did not strip all the way around like it was supposed to, but you'll have this area here. So you have to take this little doodad here and stick it under the lid, and then you'll pop it a little, and then you'll come around here to the corner, which is the hardest part on these square buckets. And you kind of have to pry it from underneath like this. Now this bucket has already been opened, but the first time you open it is going to be the hardest. So then you're going to come over here to this corner and do the same thing. And pop it, and then you'll be able to get the lid off. Just so you know, these Augustin Farms buckets have a gasket in the lid. They're reusable. If you empty the bucket, you should reuse this for something else.
I will.
And if you don't have a food storage yet, but you are starting to grind your own wheat, I definitely recommend that you start a food storage and you reuse this bucket for something else. Pasta or something. keep it dry. Then you can just pop this lid right back on. And I just keep mine in here in the kitchen on the floor. It's out of the way. I keep the bucket wrench on top.
This bucket wrench will also work on 5-gallon buckets with lids.
Round ones, yes. Absolutely. So there you go.
It's a pretty good item to have.
You can find these like at the hardware store in the paint section. But if you're going to go ahead and order your wheat online, usually the places that sell this will also offer bucket wrenches. So keep that in mind.
In fact, they'll probably suggest it for you.
Walmart did not, but I mean, I already had a bucket wrench, but... Okay, another thing I wanted to mention, I went ahead and I ground a lot of wheat. But if you have to keep count. This container only holds so much flour after it's, you know, ground up coming in from the mill. At some point, if you overfill it or you lost count, this little thing is going to start to go and it's going to spew flour dust into the air. You need to turn off your mill.
You know this how?
I know this because I just did it. Dump it into a large bowl and then continue. You can turn the Wondermill off while it has wheat in it. It's fine, but you shouldn't do that all the time. It won't hurt the mill, but in any case, I did want to mention that as well. My flour receptacle is empty. All of my flour is here in this bowl. Okay, now, when you grind your flour, it's going to get really hot. I mean, feel the bowl.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot. Yeah. When you consider the motor on that thing, I can put my hand in here. It's going to be really hot. I mean, not like burn yourself hot, but
nice and warm.
It's warm. And I mean, this feels like how your clothes feel when they come out of the dryer. This flour is that warm. You do not want to immediately make bread with this flour. And additionally, I have found out that you want to sift it. Because I'm going to go get my my sieve, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, I don't know if you can see it on camera. There is definitely a difference in color. The darker parts are going to be the heavier parts of the wheat that did not get ground up as finely as the rest of the flour. So what I like to do, and I like to use my hands, so make sure your hands are clean, is I like to put a few cups in this sieve and just take my hands and start running it around in there. This is therapeutic time. This is self-reflection time. You'll do this until it's all done, and then I'm going to show you what's left over.
Daily affirmation.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Okay, that was about 4 cups of ground flour, and this is what is left. It's really kind of like the outer hull of the wheat berry. You should feel free to leave this in your flour if you want to. I don't want it there because this makes my bread heavy and it affects the final product. I want my bread to be light. I want it to be, you know, spongy. I want it to be lofty. I want it to be a sandwich bread. I don't want it to be a brick. When I started sifting my flour, it made 100% difference to me. So if you want to take this extra step, I highly recommend it.
Or do your own comparison.
And absolutely do your own. You can research if you can do anything else with this. I have tasted it, and it really just tastes like popcorn hulls. You know, it doesn't really have any flavor to it. And aside from being extra fiber, I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm just going to toss it. So if that's blasphemous to somebody, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm doing. Now, this is what your flour looks like after you sift it. It's beautiful. So, those are my tips for how to deal with home milled flour. Get yourself some good wheat. Get yourself a bucket wrench. And make sure you don't don't mill too much at one time. Otherwise, your lid's going to pop off your receptacle, and that's no fun for anybody. Then also, you want to sift your flour. I think that sifting the flour and making sure that you let the flour cool off after you mill it is going to be your best bet. Now, I know people who mill a lot at one time, they bag it up and they put it in their freezer. If you're going to mill your flour, you should only mill what you're going to use within a week or so, because the oils that are inside the wheat will go rancid, and in turn your flour will go rancid. So freshly milled wheat is just a little bit different to deal with than the stuff you buy on the grocery store shelf, and you want to make sure that you use it when it's super fresh, because that's when it has the most nutrition.
How long will it keep in the freezer?
It will keep up to 6 months in the freezer. But if you're going to bake bread like we do, then you're going to use it up pretty quick anyway. If I have any flour left, which I will today, I will fill a number 10 can that is lined with a Ziploc bag, and then I'll just keep that off to the side and I'll use it during the week until I use it up. So those are my tips and tricks for home milled flour. Make it, let it cool, sift it, and you're going to be good to go. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you learned something that you didn't know before. And until next time, I'll see ya. In my kitchen today. I hope you liked what you watched today, and I hope that you try it, and I hope that you love it. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and giving me a positive rating. And also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber, so that you don't miss out on any of the fun we have here in our kitchen every single day. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to come by tomorrow. Until next time, happy eating.